ahead on 12 News Weekend. Work begins on a new regional park. What you'll see there and what you won't. Then, there is no business like pet business.
It's grown steadily, quite steadily, since we've started.
Why it's booming in the Northwest Metro. But first, the community turns out in Brooklyn Park to talk about amplified sound. 12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Brooklyn Park may not close the door entirely on amplified sound in city parks.
The City Council agreed to continue discussing how to control the volume in city parks and possibly lift the ban that's been in place since January.
As city parks continue to thaw, people are thinking about the details of summer celebrations they want to plan here.
We don't have a very long summer, as we all know, in the state of Minnesota, and there are many community members who have community and cultural events that are scheduled, and so I'm concerned about the timeline.
Freeman was one of several who gathered at City Hall Monday night to voice opposition about a ban on amplified sound in parks. The City Council passed the ban in January, but the issue has been discussed in committees, public hearings, and on the council for nearly a decade. Homeowners like Lisa Delgado spoke out too about the music. She says the music gets so loud that she wound up replacing the windows in her home.
I also understand that residents don't set their lives around other people's celebration. When you're in your home, you shouldn't be disturbed, especially when you have to get up in the morning to go to work, or you have to get up to work an evening shift.
The city did not vote to lift the ban, but is once again committed to working on a solution that can appease everyone.
Where our intention is to always provide opportunities for input, it's also important to recognize where we may have failed in terms of inviting all parties who are interested in this issue.
One suggestion mentioned was to divert larger groups to larger facilities offered through the Three Rivers Park District.
So in essence, by allowing groups larger than 100 rent a facility, we have created a problem because there's not enough trash cans, there's not enough parking. Therefore, we have helped create some of these problems.
The next step will be a community meeting on March 31st.
Homeowners are breathing easier in one Maple Grove neighborhood. Maple Grove police say 20-year-old Jacob Schultz hit at least 5 homes in recent months in the Boundary Creek area. Police say Schultz targeted homes with unlocked doors, one home more than once.
Suspect going into unlocked homes in the middle of the night while people were sleeping and taking small items and mainly cash. He had repeatedly gone into homes that he felt comfortable with. In his interview with the detective, that he felt was okay to continue going into, and he didn't get caught.
Schultz was arrested in Coon Rapids last month. He already faces charges there for 14 burglaries or attempted burglaries. Well, in this age of social media, it doesn't take much for a small dose of news to gain traction.
That's the case in Plymouth involving some police officers and kids. Eric Nelson has a story.
This simple patch of brown grass has become ground zero for a police story. A story that Plymouth police say is long overdue because it fosters good relations between the cops and the public.
They didn't have to stop and talk to these kids and interact with them.
But they did, and Michelle Keenan noticed. On Sunday, she rolled video of officers Mike Pasick and Matt Cayley playing football with her son Cameron and other kids at their Plymouth apartment complex. The impromptu video has garnered plenty of attention.
It was very accidental. I just posted it to my Facebook page. Never expected it to go this far.
As of today, the video had 250,000 Facebook views, and it has shined a positive spotlight on the Plymouth police.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And especially lately with all of the negativity, I think the local positive stuff isn't brought out that often, so it was nice to see.
There has been a tidal wave of controversy involving police across the U.S. in recent months.
Too often it's negative, so it was nice to see something positive.
Keenan simply wants people to know that police officers also do plenty of good things.
The fact that they got out of their car and took that time to, talk to them and play with them, and that makes a huge impact on the kids.
This is just something that's good for everybody involved.
In Plymouth, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
And of course, police interaction with kids is nothing new in Plymouth. Sergeant Curtis Smith says he encourages officers to do these types of things as often as possible.
A Minneapolis developer is requesting a zoning change in Brooklyn Park that could lead to a business park and Hy-Vee grocery store. That tops our Week in Review. In a letter to the city, Ryan Company says it has an agreement with Hy-Vee to develop and build a store on the vacant land near Highway 610 and Zane Avenue. The store would include a restaurant and gas station. More detailed plans for the Hy-Vee store and business park are expected in the coming months. Several major construction projects are underway at each of the 3 high schools in the Osseo School District. Starting next fall, 9th graders will attend classes at high schools. The district says the shift is a direct result of the state switching to an all-day kindergarten model and avoiding crowding at elementary schools. The overall cost of the project is $25 million. And in Crystal, the 23-year-old playground at Bassett Creek will get a facelift. The project will cost $130,000, and money from a Hennepin County Youth Grant will cover part of it. New slides and new equipment are expected to be up and ready to go by the fall.
Improvements are also on the way for more than 60 acres of parkland connecting Robbinsdale and Golden Valley. A joint powers agreement between the 2 cities and the Three Rivers Park District will create a new regional park. The Mary Hills and Rice Lake nature areas in Golden Valley will merge with Sochacki Park in Robbinsdale. Many improvements are planned, including off-leash dog parks, more paved trails, and more educational programs for kids to learn about nature.
We're talking about improving trails, both natural trails and asphalt trails. We're working on connections for the Crystal Lake Regional Trail, the future Bassett Creek Regional Trail, also connection to Theater Worth Grand Rounds, which is a big deal.
Something you won't see in the area are large playing fields. People who live nearby were adamant about maintaining much of the green space, and officials from the 3 entities say they intend to do that. Maple Grove officials are trying to improve the water quality of Rice Lake.
Engineers are now doing something they haven't done in 10 years, reporter Sonia Goins explains.
Rice Lake is the 10th largest lake in Hennepin County. Normally the water is 11 feet deep.
The creek comes all the way down to Maple Grove here from Plymouth, from Medina, from Corcoran, and all that water flows here into this one lake.
But there's not much water flowing now. Most of the water is gone.
We pulled the plug on the dam, and basically water's been going out since last October.
Engineers perform what is known as a drawdown. They drop the water levels to 5 feet below normal on purpose, trying to get rid of a pesky lakeweed.
Pondweed is a common problem in this lake, and Curlyleaf pondweed, it's an invasive species in that it takes over the lake. We're drying them out, desiccating them. That's what will kill them.
Officials are also trying to cut down on the amount of carp in the lake.
They root up the soil on the bottom or the sediment of the lake. They root up the plants when they become such a high population. We won't eradicate the carp in this lake, but we will reduce the numbers to a point where we can manage it a lot better.
With water levels this low, it gives city crews the opportunity to remove trash and other debris. This weekend, engineers will plug this pipe, and it will cause this whole area to flood with water, and that will cause the waters to rise in Rice Lake. It'll take about 3 to 5 weeks until the waters are back to normal. In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Officials plan on restocking Rice Lake with fish this spring. Well, coming up on 12 News Weekend, pet business is big business in our area. We'll tell you why.
And later in sports, local teams are piling up the wins in the state girls basketball tournament.
But first, there's snow and cooler temperatures in the forecast for the first full week of spring. Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Welcome back. A new study says pet owners spent a record $58 billion last year on their pets.
That's up almost 5% from the year before, too. Cassie Bonstrom explains how 2 local businesses are reaping the benefits of pet ownership.
At 2 years old and just over 100 pounds, Leo is one energetic pup.
Sit.
His owner, Deb Logan, exercises him as much as possible, but she knew her long days at work,
such a good boy,
were just too long for Leo to be cooped up in the house. So she turned to a dog walking service for help.
I walk him before work and after work, but during those work days can get pretty long. So it just gives him a little release.
There we go. For $80, Anna from Pup Culture walks Leo 4 days a week. Since she opened in 2013, Anna says her business is only becoming more popular.
It's grown steadily, quite steadily since we've started.
The report says Americans are putting more money than ever into pet services. Places like Bark and Bathe in Robbinsdale.
Probably the biggest surprise for me is how much people spend on their dogs.
George Selman co-owns Bark and Bathe, a do-it-yourself or full-service dog bath and grooming business. He says business there has grown 25% in just the last year.
Every month we've added customers. There hasn't actually almost every day we add new customers.
The report says the increase in spending is because of a higher interest in pet health, a turn in the economy, and a continual, quote, humanization of pets.
They absolutely are family members.
For Bark and Bathe, George says it comes down to comfort and convenience. Washing a dog at home is far more difficult and messy, he says, than doing it here.
Nobody was on their knees on a ceramic tile floor, bending over with their abdomen squished against the edge of a tub with a dog thrashing around.
What's this? Back at Deb's house after a good walk from Anna, Leo is finally tired. Paying for the service isn't cheap, but Deb says a calm dog when she comes home from work is priceless.
And it's not inconsequential, but it's also, like I said, it's kind of an investment of the, what you put into it is also what you get out. So I think it's well worth it.
For Business Matters, I'm Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
Definitely like a spa for your pets. What do you think?
You know, I have a dog. I've never spent that kind of money on him. Maybe I should.
Maybe you should. He or she would probably be in a better mood.
He would be, yes, I'm sure.
All right, yeah. Work on that, Delane.
All right, well, later in the show, we go to Breck to meet a student who saw a problem and grew an answer.
Then Champlin Park senior gets 2 big basketball awards. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox.
Welcome back. Jay's here now at Sports, and so the high school basketball season's over with, but now is the time for the awards to be given out.
That's right, and a fantastic season for this guy's team, but also individually. He definitely had a great year. A great season for Champlin Park boys basketball, and the Rebels won a school record 31 games and finished as runners-up in Class 4A. Now one of their senior captains has received 2 big individual honors. The Rebels' number 15, JT Gibson, is Mr. Basketball for 2015. The top individual prep hoops honor each year in the state for seniors. Gibson was also named the Minnesota Gatorade Player of the Year. He led the Rebels in scoring this season, averaging 19 points per game, while also becoming the school's all-time leading scorer. The Star Tribune's Metro Player of the Year will play college basketball next season at Nebraska Omaha. Gibson becomes the 4th player from the area in the past 5 seasons to win Mr. Basketball. The Star Tribune's All-Metro girls basketball team includes 4 local stars. Number 22 for Hopkins, T.T. Starks, is a first-team All-Metro pick. The versatile senior guard averaged 13 points, 7 rebounds, and over 3 steals per game to help lead the Royals back into the state tournament. Starks has committed to Iowa State. Number 13, junior Kiara Russell of Osseo, is a second-team All-Metro pick. Russell can score in a variety of ways and averaged just under 24 points and 3 steals per contest for the Orioles. Also on the second team, number 12, Nia Hawley of Hopkins, the Royals' top scorer at 15.5 a game. Hawley does a little bit of everything. She averaged 3.2 assists and 2.6 steals and had 13 points in the Royals state tournament opener. On the third team is Michaela Hayes of Park Center. The 6'1 sophomore led the Pirates in scoring at 15.3 and also averaged 9 rebounds and nearly 4 blocks per contest. And be sure to tune in starting Monday to our Sports Jam show as we name our all Northwest area teams in girls and boys basketball and girls and boys hockey. That's Monday through Wednesday on Sports Jam. Well, 3 local girls basketball teams are in the state tournament, and all 3 are playing for titles this weekend in their respective classes. Park Center faced Richfield in the 3A quarterfinals. Danielle Schaub gets the steal and takes it all the way for the layup as Park Center grabs an early 6-2 lead. Schaub passes to Ann Simonet in the corner, and she hits a 3. The Pirates shoot the ball very well in this first half. They go inside to Camille McCoy, back out to Hannah Schaub for a 3-pointer. It's 14-7 Pirates. McCoy provides a big lift off the bench, scoring 7 in the first half to help the Pirates build their lead. Danielle Schaub with another assist here as Simonet cuts back door. It's 28-15 Pirates. McKenna Dubois hits a couple of 3s in the first half, and as a team, Park Center makes 6 threes in that half to lead 39-26 at halftime over Richfield. Second half, it's inside to Michaela Hayes, and the sophomore helps them stretch the lead with 3 buckets early in the half. Hayes scores in the lane again on her way to a 15-point game for the Pirates. Park Center wins at 72-57 and then beat Casson Manorville in the semifinals We'll have highlights from the Pirate State Championship game versus Marshall Monday on our Sports Jam show on Channel 12. The Hopkins girls basketball team ripped through the Section 6 4A tournament, beating even good teams with ease. And that trend continued in the early rounds of the state tournament. Ashley Bates coming off a big section tournament, leading the Royals to state. And she's their top scorer in the first half against Rochester Mayo. This three gives the Royals the lead for good at 7-5. TT Starks passes in the paint to Holly, who scores 2 of her team-high 13. Hopkins is up 8. Evelyn Knox is making 53% of her three-pointers. The junior hits on 3 out of 4. The lead is 12. The Hopkins press causes problems for Mayo in the first half. Bates sets up Holly for 2 more points here after the turnover. It's a happy day for the Royals. After a Mayo turnover, Mariah Livingston gets the steal and takes it all the way for 2. Hopkins forces 25 Mayo turnovers in the first half on their way to a 62-25 win. They routed Shakopee in the semifinals, and we'll have highlights from the Royals State Championship game against Eastview coming up Monday on 12 Sports. So great end of the season with 3 teams, Maranatha also playing for that Class A championship.
Definitely great to see. Thanks, Jay.
You bet.
We have amazing athletes in our area, we know, and great students too.
Up next, an award-winning community service project and the person behind it. You never know what a school lesson can inspire.
After learning about hunger, a student at Breck decided to take action. Students gave Shivani Nukala a standing ovation during a school assembly this week. The junior from Golden Valley received the Prudential Spirit of the Community Award, which is one of 2 medals awarded in Minnesota for community service. Shivani received a scholarship and will now go to Washington, D.C. to meet with other state winners.
I am really excited to talk with my fellow students about issues that are relevant to us and understanding that we are the future and we are the next generation of change.
The award recognizes Shivani's work starting vertical gardens at the Breck School. She leads a group of 10 students who work on the garden every day to provide fresh food for a local food shelf.
And also receiving the same award, but in the middle school category, is a 12-year-old from Brooklyn Park. Alana Whirl puts together dozens of Easter baskets for children at Gillette Children's Hospital in St. Paul. She collects donations to fill the baskets.
So very good. Congratulations go out to those 2 young ladies.
I just have to look at how involved they all are. I was never that involved when I was young.
I know. Good for them. That's all the time we have for now, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, have a nice weekend. We'll see you on Monday at 4 o'clock.